Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with some updates on Sean Diddy Combs. There's new information. A lot of professional judges and attorneys are chiming into what is going on with Sean Diddy Combs. There are some updated articles. We're going to chime into that. But before we do so, I want to go back to March, honey, because something besides the lawsuit that happened in March, which Diddy took action on at present, is giving the judge suspicions that he's a serious flight risk, and as such, that's one of the main reasons why he was denied bail. So let's get into it, guys. If you remember his LA and Miami mansion, it was raided. Now, in Miami, Sean Diddy Combs in Miami, he has two mansions on the said property. So at that time, we saw a report that came out said he owed a whopping $140 million for the properties. And that is between both properties in Miami and his LA mansion, right? So what had happened was right before Sean Diddy Combs' arrest, he went in and he paid the outstanding $140 million right before his arrest. So when they applied for bail, that's one of the reasons. If you guys remember, the judge said there's absolutely no reason that he can give to prove that he's not a flight risk because he just paid off a hefty sum on a mortgage. That amount was $140 million. Okay. Now we know that, he is pending a trial date, which is expected to be set during a pre-trial conference, right? In a federal court in New York City on October 9th. So that's going to be a day from today. So on the 9th of October, they're going to have a press conference. So it's going to be a pre-trial conference. On that date, they're going to think about a trial date. But I believe that there's going to be a lot of changes on October 9th. Now, guys, if you remember, his arrest was on the 16th. They have applied for bail 2 times so far, and on both occasions, he has been denied. And as I've said to you, one is because he paid off that $140 million mortgage upfront in cash. Also, what they said is that he's a risk to his community because even though they have offered to post a $50 million bond and agreed that he would be given house arrest within 24-hour surveillance with limited visitors, right? Irrespective of that, they're saying we cannot trust you because already he had engaged in obstructive conduct. So his obstructive conduct was the people that he was calling repeatedly, convincing them, not to take action against him, convincing them to, drop the lawsuits against him and all of that. Providing that he hadn't made that phone call, possibly, right? Possibly. If he hadn't made that phone call, if he hadn't paid that money up front, because the judge is like, hey, you have to have good money because you know that you're faced with legal burdens. You paid $140 million upfront cash. You were there basically bribing and intimidating people to drop the lawsuit. So you have good money. And as I've been telling you guys, this man is still so far worth over $1 billion. I think he's close to $2 billion. Very close. And here's why. It was November, if I'm remembering correctly, if not October of 2022, he came on the Forbes list as a billionaire for the first time. Since then, even though he hasn't really been putting out music and stuff, he had a bunch of little things going on here and there. Fast forward to this year, 2024. He sold his shares in Revolt TV. He sold majority of his shares, not all of it, majority of it. He got a hefty payout from that. Also, with Diageo. Remember when he was with Diageo? Diageo was moving 44,000 cases of Ciroc annually Diddy took that from 44,000 to over 2 million, 2.5 million cases annually. So Diddy basically more than tripled their amount. So he was bringing in good money for them. When he filed that lawsuit and withdrew everything, because initially Diageo was fighting back, saying that the claims that Sean Diddy Combs was coming with, because he was using racism, Diageo argued that, his point was baseless and all of that. But the judge could actually see evidence in what his legal team was pointing out. So the judge was like, the case is going to move forward because he has enough evidence to substantiate his statement, right? No. After that, the case was withdrawn. He received a hefty settlement from Diageo. Remember, he took Diageo from 44,000 cases annually to over 2 million annually. And then they came up with another, I think it was Diageo that they created, or Sierra Leone or something like that, but Sierra Leone, that's what they came up with after. So when he received that settlement from Diageo, you guys know that was another hefty payout. That wasn't going to be like a $10 million, $20 million. That's going to be somewhere a minimum of $300 million. Remember, he had 50% shares in DeLeon, not DeLeon. I think the correct name is DeLeon. He had 50% shares in that. So he sold his shares in that. They paid him for that, plus his partnership with Ciroc. That's a minimum of $300 million right there you're looking at. So if we're being honest and giving just a rough estimate of his Revolt TV shares, what that is worth, plus his stake with, Ciroc or Diageo, just in general, because everything comes under Diageo. So if you're looking at those two major business ventures that he had going on, those two business ventures in itself, his payout would be well over $500 million, well over that. So this substantiates what I've been telling you guys. This man is worth close to $2 billion. And as such, that's why the judge was like, no, you just paid off $140 million cash and you're in illegal turmoil. You have good money. You are already negotiating with people to pay them off. You're already, making several phone calls to people who have sued you. So you have violated your terms. So he created a obstruction of justice right there. So it's bribery, coercion, and all of that. Those charges are going to come up next in the next trial hearing. We're going to hear about all those charges being added on. Now, guys, we're going to go on to the letter. That's his. So we're going to go to a copy of the detention letter, that is. So the detention letter is September 17, 2024. It has United States Attorney, Southern District of New York. The address, it has, Honorable Robin F. Tornofsky, United States Magistrate Judge, Southern District of New York, 500 Pearl Street, the address and all of that. So we're going to go through that. Or I may just put it in the video so that you guys can see, because it has a lot of information. So let's give you guys a breakdown first, right? So it's telling you that he has obstructed justice. It has in the code the violation, the clause, and all of that. It goes down into the bail reform program. It goes down into the evidence that they have against him so far. They go into the investigation details, what is leading them to do further investigations, and all of that. So it's a very lengthy document. If anyone needs the link for the document, I can actually send it to you via Instagram, but it's a very lengthy document, right? Now, so just the applicable part that I'm going to read. They're saying under the Bail Reform Act, Section 18 U.S.C. 3141, federal courts are empowered to order a defendant detention pending trial upon determination that the defendant is either danger to community or a risk of flight. Finding risk of flight has been supported by supported evidence. So as it relates to the risk of flight, they're using the fact that he still has good money, he still has good ties, connection, and power. He has that private jet. He can take his private jet and go anywhere else. They're finding him to be a danger to society because he has been convincing people to withdraw evidence, drop their statement, and all of that. And it comes under obstruction of justice as well. So the detention letter contains a lot of information. But if you guys need it, I can send anyone who needs it. I can send it to you, but it's a lot, okay? But I just wanted to come back and share that with you guys because I've seen people telling me that he's broke, I don't know what I'm talking about, and all of that. And I can tell you that I do know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's it. That's that for this video. Remember, thumbs up, subscribe, share, stay safe. See you guys later. Bye, guys.